Welcome back, everyone. We are about to cross the finish line. I think at this point in time, we're 2.5 weeks from comp date. So 1.5 weeks of actual training, and then 1 week of taper sessions and travel, and probably just kind of holding myself up in a hotel room and hopefully recovering and avoiding all stimulus for 3 or 4 days before I compete. At this point, it's hard to say how things are going, where things are at overall. This week marks a bit of a shift in my programming. So I've changed slightly from the last 4 weeks into more of a standard kind of peaking strategy for the next week and a half or 2 weeks, I guess, of training. So I've shifted from singles at 7 to singles at 8. I've shifted from a lot of the timed rest stuff to a lot more straight set back offs, like I did on the squat today, 85% for doubles. And I'm pretty thankful that that change has been made. I think that doing the higher reps on the squats was a little harder on my knee, and my knee isn't fantastic right now, to be totally honest. It doesn't feel bad. My strength actually feels really good. I came in and lifted on Monday, and my deadlift felt just strong as it has in a long time. And today's squats, despite feeling really creaky and kind of painful, and my knee being somewhat resistant to the range of motion at the start, was able to have a really good overall squat session. So worked up to, again, singles moved from a 7 to an 8, and I think I slightly overshot my 277. I think maybe a week or two ago when I did 277 was more of a 7.5, but today's 285, 7.5 kilo jump, moved maybe even slightly under an 8. So probably somewhere around a 7.5, and felt really good. I felt very capable of much more than that. I think the last time I squatted 285 that well was just before 2022 Worlds, where I squatted my 317. And I think after that 317, I still had some in the tank. So hopefully squat is on track. Feels pretty good, despite being somewhat uncomfortable and, feeling definitely a little asymmetric. Yeah, we'll see if I can squat 320 on one leg. Bench today was close grip, high rep stuff. Shifted to my heavier singles on Monday and got a bunch of really good singles at around 190. Today, kind of really trying to find my floor, my start for the momentum. And I know 2 weeks maybe isn't the most amount of time to build said momentum, but I do think that there's enough room there if I can get this load selection on some of these exercises just right, that I can give it a good push across the last little bit of training here. So pretty, overall feeling really good. I was back on the chest supported row as well today, which one of my favorite ways to row. I mean, whether or not it has a huge amount of comp carryover, who knows? But if I'm gonna be rowing, I kind of prefer doing it on that. I really like that machine. It feels good. I can load it really heavy. All the same things I've said about it many times before. I didn't really want to do the lifting today when we started. I was having a hard time getting going, having a hard time feeling motivated, having a hard time feeling not really negative about training, and really kind of like expecting it to not go well. And I know myself well enough at this point, when I get to this point in the peak, when maybe injuries are bugging me a little more than they have for the past little while, I kind of am able to compartmentalize that a little bit and not let it affect my lifting. And luckily it didn't today, and things came out pretty well. And, I think as a result of that, I was able to shake it a bit. But I don't know where I'm going with this, but I don't know. Sometimes you don't want to do the thing, and sometimes you do it anyways, and it's okay. I don't know if that's like some sort of sage advice or wild insight, but sometimes peaking is not a lot of fun. It's one of those things, I think, when you're peaking, you're like, oh, I can't wait to get into a volume phase, put in some good solid reps and do the work. And then as soon as you're in a volume phase, you're like, oh man, I really want to get some weight on the bar. I can't wait to get back to doing singles. And it's just this perpetual kind of like grass is greener. So I don't know. I think sometimes learning to like sit with that discomfort and sit with that negativity and just be like, yeah, I kind of feel shitty about lifting right now. I kind of feel like my knee sucks and I don't really want to do this, but you know, that doesn't necessarily have to affect the decisions I'm making in training. I can try to, you know, wall that off a little bit, do the training. And if we do the training well, then that's going to have a positive impact on the whole, you know, mood and emotional side of it. But yeah, anybody who's watched this channel long enough to see me do any number of peaks knows that I tend to get a little like unstable emotionally in the last couple weeks of peaking. And I don't know if it's like some sort of hormonal thing with just like doing what you do to your body, but I don't know. This shit happens, and I don't know. Sometimes it sucks, and you just make the best of it. But I'm gonna stop blabbering about that now. We've got some new apparel coming. If you've seen me wearing it might be out already. Thank you, Dylan. August 4th, the new metal stuff drops. We got the camel hat. We got the gatekeeper shirt. We've got the Calgary Vania shirt. It's a very limited launch. If you're into the, you know, gnarly metal stuff, sweet, it's for you. Get some, because there's not a lot of it. And if you're not into it, cool. We got more stuff coming right away around the corner. So anyways, thanks to everybody who's come along on this prep with me. After the meet, we might not be doing as many vlogs. We might not be doing as much of my lifting, but we will certainly be keeping up on a lot of the content. We got a gym tour in the making, and yeah, a lot of other cool stuff. We're doing the streams every Friday. If you want to come by for Form Check Friday, that's where that lives now. And that being said, we'll let y'all go. Like, subscribe, ask your questions below, and yeah, maybe we'll do a question of the day in the next one, and yeah, that'll be the last one. Wish me luck. Peace, everybody.